Are we live? Oh, wait, awesome. We are live. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Happy Valentine's Day to those of you who are celebrating. I'm going to be honest, I completely forgot today was Valentine's Day until like this morning. And so, about an hour ago, I decided to sketch a quick, fun little love theme and just see if we could do something with it for today's live stream. All right, so 23. Welcome, my friends. As my alarm titled Detroit time just went off. It must be Friday. Yes, yes, it is. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Flim Flammery. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, yeah, just another hangout, my friends. Today we're gonna have a good time. I think. Don't really have a plan. Like I said, I sketched this little idea about 1 hour ago. Or I started sketching about 1 hour. I just finished, and I figure we can listen to it together and then we can decide what we want to do. I can either break down the harmony, which is there's some cool little kind of harmony things going on. We can try making an arrangement from it. We can try ignoring it and just answering questions you guys have instead. Whatever. Well, we've got something to do here, and we got some stuff to work with. Welcome, Tamashi. Welcome. And awesome. I'm glad you could make it, Flim Flammery. So let's give this a listen first, shall we? We'll zoom out a little bit so we can see some stuff. See what's happening. Zoom in a little bit. And let's do this. All right, so that's the sketch, but I'm getting a notification from YouTube saying that it's not getting a good connection. Are you guys getting any buffering going on here? It says YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Stream status poor. All right, what do y'all get? Is like, are you guys at the stream? I'm wired in with an Ethernet cable. I've got good internet. I don't know why it wouldn't be receiving good signal. All right. What you guys are saying? All right, it's fine. Don't see any buffering. I'll take. All right, awesome, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. All right. Hopefully it continues to be fine. It says I have an excellent connection. But what have you? All right. So were people able to hear the music? Did it buffer at all during the sample? Yeah. Anywho, whatever. Let's dive into this chord progression a little bit together, shall we? Because I like this chord progression I came up with. I love harmony. Of all the things I love to do, I find making interesting chord progressions and interesting harmonies are my favorite. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So up to oops. So let's copy and paste this. We'll bring it over here and I'll kind of explain. What happened? And I kind of explain the different harmonic decisions I made. Along the way, y'all, you should know by now, just pop your questions in the comments. I'll answer stuff as it pops up. All right, so this is our chord progression. Let's delete the lower octave and the bass line. We don't need that. So with this chord progression, let's listen to it real quick. And then it was a C, right? Or no, it was an E. All All right, so this is the chord progression that I ended up working with. Tamashi, it took me a little under an hour to write this. And I'll show you basically kind of the step-by-step process I took, if I can remember it. So I remember I started with a very, very basic chord progression first. I knew I wanted to create a love song. So I said C major. Let's see here, get the swing off. It was C major, then it was F major, then it was E minor, then it was D minor, then C major, then G major, then it was an F major, F minor, and then, which one was it? I believe it was an E minor. So this was the original chord progression. No, I'm being serious. I am very well practiced at sketching ideas, especially when it doesn't have to be anything specific. This is literally just the chord progression I worked with initially. So I'll show you how I zhuzhed it up a little bit. So that's one of the benefits of doing these live streams, is I was just thinking this the other day. I've been doing these live streams since I want to say like 2020, 2022 or 2021. I've been doing it for like 3 or 4 years now. And one of the really cool benefits of having to do like a live stream every single week is I had to really hone in certain skills. And one of those skills that I have really, really honed in is sketching ideas. And it's super easy because I treat it like a homework assignment. All right, so this, I didn't have a specific character I had to portray. I didn't have a specific kind of scenario that it had to fit. I just knew I wanted something that sounded vaguely romantic. And if I have a vague description like that, I can work really well. So I came up with this chord progression first. And then I was like, I can make it a little more romantic. What if, so I voice led a bit. So the first thing I did is like, all right, C major to F major. It's like, I can make that a little jazzier. What if I did C major, C augmented 5, and then F major? So what that does is it's a cool little trick. This is called reharmonization. When you take a chord progression, you start adding a little changes. So I just took this G, I raised it a half step, so that I had a little chromatic walking line. And then, yep, so that was, and then, oh yeah, I made it I made this a 7th chord as well, is what I did, to give it a bit more of a jazzier feel. But then the F went in the bass line, so that we could have a little bit of a cleaner voicing. Right? So then from here I made this into a minor 7 chord. And then one of my favorite things, anytime you have, this is something I did over here, is anytime you have 2 chords right by each other, you can do the whole, you can make it a diminished, similar to how we did with an augmented chord over here. I took my minor chord, I made it diminished, to again create a little walking motion. So then, and then I made this a 7th as well, so that I can make a diminished 7th as well, and put that in the bass line. No, I put that down here, I put these in the bass line. And then, what did I do over here? Welcome, everybody. All right, so those of you who have just joined, I'm just kind of sharing some little stuff. About 1 hour before the stream started, I sat down and I wrote a little jazzy love tune in celebration of Valentine's Day today. And now I'm kind of breaking down just the process I had for reharmonization. And I should probably explain these a little bit more. So let's actually undo all this, all right? So I can demonstrate these choices I made. I don't need to go step by step to demonstrate how I did it. I should explain why I did it. So first off, we have two chords right here, C major and then F major in second inversion. So augmented chords. Augmented chords make an excellent choice for smoothing out your transition between chords. So already these chords have one note in common, right? Now, when I take this top note and I make it augmented, and I can have this augmented note resolved by step. And that's literally the only step, all right? So an augmented chord, augmented chords, fifth chords, all right? Useful tips. Any major chord can become an augmented fifth chord by raising the fifth a half step. I guess this goes for minor chords as well. So minor triads can do this as well. But all I did is I took C major, I chopped it in half, and just raised the fifth a little bit. So we get this cool little... And then a great way to have this resolve... Where's the project at? You can create a really cool effect by having that fifth resolve by half step. So in this case, I have my C major, then I go to a C augmented 5. So the big one right here, the big purpose right here is I just want this G sharp to move up to an A. So I could do this to any chord that has an A. All right, so I go to F major right now. All right, that could work. I could do an A minor instead. Because again, all that really matters is having this G sharp move into that A. I could do this with a D minor instead. And it sounds amazing, right? It sounds really, really cool, like it's supposed to go in that direction. All because this one little chromatic tone gets resolved, right? If you can find, so again, this is something where you can have, again, this could be any chords. Let's say just a couple random chords real quick. We'll do D minor to A minor. Or so it's a D minor. So if we take this, and we might have to swap that A minor, but we take our D minor, and we make it an augmented 5. No, wait, no. It has to be a major triad. That's right. So it does have to be a major triad, because if we go up here, this isn't an augmented fifth. This suddenly just becomes a B flat chord in first inversion. So it has to be a major triad. My apologies. So it has to be a major triad. Let's start over. We'll go with F major. So you can turn any major triad into an augmented fifth chord by taking this little fifth and moving it up. And it's called an augmented fifth because the interval between the root and the fifth is now an augmented fifth interval. Literally, all we have to do is find any chord that could resolve this C sharp into a D to have it move up by a half step, right? So we could do D minor. We could do G major. Right? We could do, so we did, let's do a B major. We could do a B diminished. We could do B minor. No, I guess B minor would be. We just did B minor. Blah. My brain is foggy. I'm tired. So we've got this cool little tool though in the augmented fifth, right? You can go in so many different directions just so long as that augmented fifth is used to resolve up by a half step, and it creates this really cool sound that we have in my chord progression. Now, this is another transition that we're going to have. I'm going to show you. All right, that's a fun, cool little thing. So here we have two minor chords, two minor triads, and they are separated by major step. So basically two minor triads that are next to each other, E minor to D minor. Pretty cool. Something we can do, though, is we can make this a diminished triad. It's the same basic concept. So where an augmented triad was a major triad that we raised the fifth a half step. A diminished is a minor triad where we lower the fifth by half step. It's the same basic principle. As long as it resolves down into its next note, you're good. So E minor, E diminished, D minor. And this becomes even bigger when I did it as a minor seventh into diminished seventh. Right? Because if we put this into sevenths, we again have that nice, beautiful pull where both the fifth and the seventh are resolving by half step, right? Ooh, I love this kind of stuff, right? All right, I gotta start paying attention to comments. What are you guys saying? 23, faster tempo, voice as saxophone will make it more Valentine's-y. Ooh. Tamashi wants this to be a new video. It could be, definitely. I do enjoy this stuff. Let's do it. So what are you thinking? Let's start arranging this, shall we? We had some fun exploring the harmony and the cool different stuff. There's a couple other cool things I did in the harmony, but we can move on, definitely. So what are you thinking? Flim Flammer, you think, or not Flim Flammer, 2030, faster tempo. Let's try moving it up to, what you thinking, 85? Let's try playing it in, shall we? Now, I unfortunately do not actually have any high-quality saxophone libraries. If anyone has recommendations for cool, like really high-quality saxophone libraries, let me know. Let's see here. Acoustic pianos, bass guitar, no. Yeah, that'd be band, wouldn't it? Organ, guitar, bass, drum kits, electric pianos, acoustic pianos. Ah, that's right, because under horns. Let's do alto sax. Let's try playing this. All right. Y'all are going to be forced to listen to my terrible piano playing. Let's try. All right, let's try this, shall we? It's not the best library, but it'll have to do. Hold up. Cubase isn't moving for me for some reason. Why is it? There we go. The delay between the two tracks is a bit of an issue. So let's just copy it, shall we? The delay between when I'm playing on my piano is... At least I'm going to say it's the delay. It could just be that I'm a terrible piano player. Let's try it, though, shall we? Let's unmute this. Oops, let's drop that. question, Quinn. So, Quinn asks, hyper-specific question here. What other kinds of chord movements can utilize that diminished movement while keeping that interval between the 5th and the 7th? Let's find out, shall we? So, here we are going to do, let's reduce the swing. We had an E minor 7, right? So the idea was, oops, wrong one. The idea was we have our E minor 7 chord. And now to make it a diminished 7, we are going to drop the 5th and the 7th. Honestly, the only requirement to create that super satisfying sound is to have your chords, to have these notes resolve down by half step. And so we could do, so we needed chords that have an A and a C. We could try, for example, F minor, or F major. We could try a D minor 7. Which is one of my favorite ways to resolve it. We could try doing a, did we do A minor already? We could try doing an A minor. We could have it be an A minor 7. Add a G in there. Right? Each one's going to have its own unique little color. And you can even start experimenting with chords that don't fully resolve it. So maybe you say, instead of having the 7th and the 5th both resolve, you say, let's just have the 5th resolve down. The 7th can stay there. So have more of a deceptive quality. Right? Has a very different personality there. You could try, so that'd be an A major. So you could make it a dominant 7 chord. Right? There's all kinds of things you can do once you understand the method, the reason why it works. The reason why we have this beautiful little sound is because of this tension, because of this strong pull that we have, as well as that tritone between E and B flat. That tritone really pulls in as well. Because you could also say, all right, what if we wanted this? You could try resolving it almost like a substitute dominant kind of situation. There's lots of different ways that you could do it. Once you understand which notes are causing kind of like this tension, this desire to go somewhere, your imagination and understanding of how to resolve those notes become the only limiting factors of how you want to actually do it. Right? Does that answer your question? I hope. Yeah, the A dominant 7, right? Oh, okay, so awesome. 23 likes it. 20 says, I'm picturing Valentine's Day in an anime. You nailed it. Thank you. Yes, those jazzy little colors are what give it the anime quality. Let's see what we can do here. Let's see if we can change the instrument a little bit. Not a bari sax. Let's try, does it have a tenor sax? I'd love a tenor saxophone. Yeah, let's do tenor saxophone. Let's drop the velocity a little bit. Let's add a little bit of reverb to this. Valhalla Room. Oh, I haven't set these up yet. Dang it. All right. Let's do... because I've got a new OS and I've got new everything on my phone, there are a couple things I need. There are a couple plugins and stuff that I need to still try and Why? Oh, okay, awesome, that worked. No, what's going on? Yeah, I'm logged in, aren't I? What's going on here? Ugh. All right, fine. Grounded is their room. Let's try 20%. So we'll add a little bit of reverb. We'll get rid of it on this one. Let's just put it on, since I have to use the demo for now, because I don't want to go into my email to find everything just yet on a live stream. Fine, let's do this. 10% is what it was on. So we've got... Let's give it a bass, shall we? Let's take this. It's a bit of a strong reverb, but we'll make it work. We don't need a finished product, right? We're having some fun, is all it is. So let's take this bass line. Let's put it in our bass. Start putting a little bit of space around here. ALKALI6. Why is the reverb named after a demon? Is it? I had no idea. It's just a free reverb plugin that I got from Native Instruments a few years ago. Very powerful instrument too. Let's see here. Let's try doing. Quinn, I could totally hear a variation of that melody down the octave and extremely rubato. Ooh, that would be fun. Let's get a beat first. Let's do... We need a kick dampen, so that's a low C, it looks like. And we're going to add the swing up. So those are on the quarter notes there. Let's do, what's a good snare? Open snares. Let's see here. Cowbell. Tambourine. Nope. Sticks hit. Let's do, where is the snare? Not a flam. Not the rim. Not the roll. Not the off. Let's see here. There we go. So it's going to be an A. Little low. There we go. All right, let's see here. Yeah, right. Only film composers here are also regular producers. Oh, you're fine. We get people from all backgrounds. I get producers, songwriters, Classical music, film composers, video game designers, sound designers. It's good. You're off a set. Ba, 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 ba. Studio drummer is high quality, right? Yes. Native Instruments is very. I love their instruments. Let's see. All right, which note is this? That's not what I want. Let's see here. Let's play this a little bit. I guess it works, I guess. Strong. Let's do hi-hat. Let's add a hi-hat. Hi-hat. Here we go. It's gonna be a C. Which one is it? Which one is it? That's not. Where is it? I thought it was a C, wasn't it? All right, so let's see here. Hi-hat, open half. Yeah, so that should. So this is middle C, so it should be the C above middle C. So C4 in Cubase. But it's not. All right, let's see. We're getting some people here. Me too, regular Tamashi. Tamashi, when switching sections, we change the chord progression, but do we change the melodic material also? And if we do, we have to stick to it. That's entirely up to you, my friend. So as composers, you're making those decisions regularly. If you change section, you can change the chord progression if you'd like. If you're changing sections, you don't have to. You can use the same chord progression. Lots of songs do that and just write a different melody on top. You can write a different melody and have the same chord progression. You can write a different melody and a different chord progression. You can write the same melody but with a different chord progression, a technique called reharmonization. It's entirely up to you and your tastes and, of course, what the story necessitates in terms of whether you are telling a story with the film, whether you are trying to follow a song. What happened? There we go. I don't know what that was. All right, let's see here. Studio drummer. Yeah, it's right here. That's a C, isn't it? Let's see here. So why is it? We're just gonna go with this one. All right. I don't know if I have a transposing on or something. We're gonna take this. I'm gonna chop it up. Bring it down a little bit. Oops. This is not. It did not cut the way I thought it would. That does not sound good. You know what? Fuck it. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I usually try to watch my language on this thing. I guess you guys understand that. That's why. It makes it. I'm feeling comfortable and I'm getting involved in the music. So I apologize for the language swap. Let's see here. Maybe it was 16th notes. Let's try 16th notes. Let's see here. Would this give me the quality I want? That would not. You know what? Let's just play it in, shall we? Let's mute this in. I really need a better saxophone library. right, so let's see some comments here, shall we? All right, before we get back to this horrifically cheesy little love song. Let's see here. Yeah, right. It says, but is the stuff you teach mainly for film composers, or doesn't it matter? Most of the stuff I work on and most of the lens I share is through the perspective of a film's composer. However, I really try my best to make sure everything remains genre neutral. So, like the methods I share for harmony and creating interesting chord progressions, like this one. The methods I share for creating bass lines, writing melodies, all that kind of stuff, they're all genre neutral, meaning that it doesn't matter what kind of music you want to write, you can use them. Producers can use my strategies to create cool chord progressions and interesting, memorable melodies. Film composers can use them. Songwriters can use them. Classical high art composers can use them. There's no little kind of limitations in terms of the quality of resources, like how you want to apply them. But yes, most of my lenses, most of my kind of perspectives will be through the lens of a media composer. Because I got to start saying media composer, because technically I've worked on more theatrical productions now than I have professionally worked on film scores. But I have done quite a few film scores. Let's see here. IKI Rosa, it's an F. The colors made it confusing. Right? Wait, really? Oh, you're right. That. All right. See, I saw the 2 right here, and I thought that's a C. It's okay. Thank you, Rosa. I thought I was going crazy a little bit. Hi-hat. Yeah, 7 Tears of Hope, the minimalist. Good evening, my friends. Sorry I'm late to the party. So much stuff going on. Thanks for all the incredible feedback last week. My pleasure. Thank you for showing up. It's always fun to have people showing up, especially regular. I cannot talk today. Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna slow down. And then I'm gonna respond. All right, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna have more caffeine because that'll help, right? Chai tea. All right. 7 Tears of Hope. Welcome, my friend. All right. A regular of the streams. Tamashi, you can swear if you want. We're cool, man. Thank you. I try to keep the language clean when I'm on the stream because you never know who's watching. You never know who's trying to learn. I try to keep it a little clean. Every once in a while, a little F-bomb pops out like that. I'm sorry. So if I ever start to just swear and start to drop some vulgar language, you know that I'm kind of focused on the music. That I'm kind of like in on it. All right. Because so that's how you know that I'm feeling comfortable and kind of focused on the project at hand. Quinn, how about 6/8 accent on the 6? Ooh, let's try that. So triplets, basically. So it was an F. So let's see here. So if we swap this to triplets, reduce the swing. Where's the F? Well, that didn't make a noise. What's going on here? Oh, it's because it's muted. Let's try this again. That sounds like a kick. There we go. See ya. Nope. Here, let's try playing it in. I like that one better. We'll play it a little. The delay on this keyboard is awful. What if we do? Is it 8? I think it might be 16th. What if we try this? That's it. That's the one I want. A nice little ta 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 ta. We'll bring down the velocity a little bit. Pop that in. And here's a cool little trick for y'all. All right. Nope, not that. I am going to randomize the velocity ever so slightly so that I don't have just the same idea repeating. Now, every single, let's see here. Oh no. Oh, I can't do it because I got the new OS and I haven't. Ah, that kind of pisses me off. I'm gonna have to go in and recreate all of them. So Cubase and a lot of other DAWs have something called a logic editor where you can teach Cubase to do everything. I had things set. Now I'm gonna have to learn how to do it again because I did it like years ago. I had these commands where I could select it and it would randomize the velocity just a little bit by a certain number of ticks for each one to make it sound more human. And I swear, getting this new computer set up has been annoying in a lot of ways. But it's all right. It's all right. I'll be good. Let's create a nice little kick. We'll do eighth of quarter notes. Bring those in. Pop it. What if we added a little swing to the bass? Oh, I guess it really wouldn't do much. So what if we did on the half note level? What if we did every other one? I like that. All right, that one works. Keep that. And then what should we do for the snare? Let me see the comments. I gotta keep focusing on the comments too. All right, so no one. Okay, so lag. All right, but no one else is seeing lag. All right, awesome. So hopefully it's just you, Tamashi. Sorry, Tamashi. I don't want you to have lag, but I hope it's just you if there is. Just so that we don't have the stream being messed up. Alkali 6. Have you done a video on harmonic rhythm? No, I don't think so. I think I've mentioned it in the past as an important tool, but I don't think I've done one specifically. So harmonic rhythm, for those of you who don't know, deals with two things. One is the number of chords per measure. So as we can see here, my average for this chord progression is about 2. 2 chords per measure. Well, technically, let's start this over here. This is the chord progression we're working with. And even though these get articulated twice, they're still just the one chord. So this is our chord progression. So harmonic rhythm, like I said, has 2 things. One, worth the number of chords per measure, but the second one is a little more elusive and not really quantizable, at least not in any meaningful way. But it has to do with how much pull each chord has into the next. So for example, this C major into A minor. All right, hold up. I am struggling today. All right. This, where is it? Lost my place. Here we go. This C major and this A minor originally. So if you were here early in the stream, I kind of explained how I started with a very simple chord progression and then embellished it. There's not a lot of pull between these 2 chords. When you hear this C major, you don't automatically feel like, oh, that really wants to go here. No, that chord could go anywhere. It could go. So you can hear all these different directions it can go in. However, By adding this augmented, C augmented 5, we get significantly more pull. We feel like that wants to go somewhere, right? You don't want to end there, especially when it comes from here. And then the payoff for arriving there, which technically would be this chord, because this is technically a F major 7, technically. That payoff that we get from those chords, that nice pull, that tension, that energy that goes from one chord into another, where it just feels like, that was satisfying. That is another term for harmonic rhythm. The amount of pull each chord has into the next. So when I started with the very basic version of this chord progression, which I think was like C major, F major, E minor, then D minor for the first 4 measures, I zhuzhed it up a little bit. I added a little more spice, a little more kind of personality to create the... You know, I can't play it with my teeny little keyboard, so let's just play it. Right? So it gets a little more personality. It has more energy, more personality, more drive forward. Does that make sense? It's kind of like an abstract quality. But for those of you wondering, that's what harmonic rhythm is. Number of chords and the amount of momentum each chord pulls into the next one. You know what? Yeah, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. What questions do people... Let's start tackling some questions. If we can keep arranging this if we'd like. But I actually feel like I want to work on this piece myself. All right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to play this little piece in the background for everyone who hasn't heard it. For those of you who don't know, I wrote this about an hour before the stream just to have something to work with, and I wasn't expecting it to be something that I genuinely like. So let's reduce the velocity a little bit on this, so it's nice and soft. Actually, let's not do that. Let's just drop the expression so it's not that loud. We'll have this playing in the background, and then I'll start looking through the comments. Let's see. So yeah, Akali 6. I have not done a video on harmonic rhythm, but hopefully that helps. Welcome, Matt. 23, more caffeine. Yes, of course, if you insist. Tamashi talking about lag. Hopefully it's just you. Flim Flammer is not experiencing lag. Rosa, your approach to orchestration is very useful. I dropped out of music uni because I found it pretty weak. I took 4 semesters of orchestration, but a few minutes of your videos is way more helpful. That's awesome. Thank you. That's legitimately one of my favorite compliments I get on this channel is when people tell me, I'm sorry, the music's distracting. When people tell me that my lessons have been more impactful than lessons they took at the universities and colleges, it's very gratifying for me because, like I said, I'm someone who had to drop out of music school after barely spending any time in it at all, and I have been rejected. I have been rejected by music schools no less than 7 times. All right, they just don't seem to want anything to do with me. A lot of it is because I just don't have the background of what you would expect a musician to have. I went to school to be a therapist, not a musician, and so for a lot of people, I have found my application just gets tossed out before I even gets past the first round because they look for reasons why they shouldn't consider me, and that's a pretty big one. So when I find people like you, or when people like you very generously share this experience with me, it's very gratifying. Just to be able to know that I'm able to make a difference in other people who've experienced not necessarily the same kind of setbacks, but similar setbacks, to know that the lessons that I've worked very, very hard to internalize myself, the lessons that I've worked very hard to learn and then share with other people are having an impact. It makes me really happy. So thank you, Rosa. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. Quinn, that sounds super useful. Which one? I'm not sure. I've gotten behind on the comments. So I hope it's helpful. Whatever it was, it is. I'm sure it is. Alkali, random velocity and timing is a great feature. Yeah, oh, yes, that's what you're talking about. Yes. I've got to go through and find it because the logic editor, see, I used to have it under functions. You can see these are all different things. Merge tempo from tapping. Y'all. All right, I'm going to show you this tool right here. Lots of DAWs have this. Okay. So right now, I'm going to mute this. All we're going to do is I'm going to tap every other beat. All right? Let's play this, and we're going to record this spot. All right? messed up. I messed up. Let's do, so what we're going to do, let's go through the whole thing again. I'm going to unmute it. And I'm going to change this real quick to, you know what? We don't need anything in it. We just need to have the tapping. So I'm going to count out loud this time. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to stop counting. And we'll stop there, because I don't need to go through the whole thing. So this little tool right here, MIDI, functions, merge tempo from tapping. Well, first, let's get a tempo bar, track up here, shall we? Y'all, this is one of the coolest little tools you're ever going to find. All right, so here we have our tempo. Our tempo is a nice solid 85 beats per minute, right? I'm going to change that now. MIDI, functions, merge tempo from tapping. All right, I'm now going to tell it how frequently I tapped. I tapped every 1/2 bar, all right? Beats 1 and 3. I'm going to click begin at the bar set. Boom. Look at how it automatically changes the tempo. Now, that might seem very simple, but you have to realize this humanizes your tempo. No orchestra, no musician, no live performance ever is going to have a strict computer perfect tempo. So what this does is it allows you to kind of conduct and allows for the natural tempo changes that are going to happen as you play. So as we do this, as we listen to this again, pay attention to the tempo down here. Watch how it changes. I'm going to lift it up so we can pay attention a little bit more. Right there. And it creates a much more human performance, all right? It's a very simple little tool, all right? But you can think of it, like I said, like conducting. So you'll typically don't want to do every single beat, but once every bar or twice every bar. Super useful tool, really nifty. I hope that's helpful, all right? Let's see, wow, getting lots of stuff here. All right, so that sounds super helpful. Alkali 6, heartbeat rhythm, then skip a kick, so it's like a heart skipping beat. Ooh, that'd be fun. So that's probably an old comment, isn't it, when we were working on the rhythm. Quinn, anyone have luck with dragging brush drum sounds in MIDI? The other day I couldn't figure out how to notate them. All right, so this is all the drum stuff. I'll be honest, I don't do a lot of drum sets in MIDI. Usually I just write, because the only projects I've worked on for drum kits are projects where I had like an actual drummer who was going to be performing the music. And so since I'm not a very accomplished drummer, or percussionist, I just like, you know what, I'll write a basic idea so they get in the mood for what I want, and then I'll let them just kind of embellish it how they want. Yeah, right, says off topic, what if you want to use your 9-parameter strategy for a little motif, but you cannot find the words for the emotions you're feeling for that? Ooh, that's tricky. So this is something I'm going to recommend. All right, so if you have not seen it yet, I'm going to recommend a video that did not get a lot of views. All right, this video, are emotions and music related? So your question, yeah, right, about using the 9 parameters tool that I shared in today's video. You said you want to use it on a little motif, but you cannot find the words for the emotions you're feeling that you're trying to get. Emotions and music very rarely have to deal with words. All right, they very rarely have to deal with like. In fact, I would say like working in a film scoring and like theater and all the different productions I've worked on, the words used to describe the emotions are almost never helpful. Like I once had the composer say, like the director say that she wanted this music to feel very sad. All right, That kind of feeling of sadness didn't give me a lot of information, but what did give me a lot of information was the discussion with the playwright, who spent hours describing the context of the story, what led up to this moment, what were the characters like, well, what were their experiences, how was it going to impact the characters moving forward. What you want, how do I put this? I'm tripping over my words today. The key to portraying emotions in music is to not get lost in trying to name the emotion, but rather to try and express the experience of the emotion itself. So this video right here puts it much more eloquently. It's from a live stream where I was much better put together. If you want a significantly more in-depth breakdown, Tabletop Composer, it's about time that I did an ad for myself today. The best option is my Emotions in Music class. All right? Take it. It comes with 3 private lessons, what have you. All right? It'll break down literally everything you could ever possibly need to know to portray any emotion you could ever possibly need to portray. All of it based because it's off a framework, a model, and not templates. To my knowledge, I am the only former therapist turned professional film composer who teaches a class on emotions in music, because straight up, musicians are kind of stupid about emotions in music. We treat it like it's this huge kind of mystery. It's not. All right. In the world of therapy and psychology, we have understood why music portrays emotions like for years, for generations now. We've understood this. It's not hard to understand. It's just for whatever reason, we've never cross-connected between the fields to explain it to each other. So this class takes all the theory explaining why music is emotional in the first place and breaks down all the tools you could possibly need to portray it. All right. There are other options. You can go to the bookshop, and these 2 books here, my Emotions in Music, this is the book version of the class, and this is my textbook on music, which the textbook teaches you just straight up storytelling with music. It's organized like a class that you would take on your own to start from the very beginning of composing music. Again, genre neutral, so it doesn't matter what kind of music you want to write. It's just going to teach you the basics and fundamentals. It'll teach you all the really cool stuff that I love to do, all the music theory, nerdy stuff, through the lens of telling stories. If you want, you can go through here. Oops. If you want physical copies, they are available on Amazon. Find it on my website. Click this link. I'm not going to click it because that would show you my address because I'm signed into Amazon. I don't want to do that. But if you click this link down here, you can look through the story of table of contents and see everything that is taught. All right. It's currently on sale because every Wednesday I have a members only stream on the channel now, where channel members can watch the stream and follow along as we go each week 1 chapter at a time through this book. So yeah, if you're struggling, I would say spend your time trying to describe the emotion. Again, watch that video that I just showed you. Watch it through. It'll explain the theory much, much more in depth, much more coherently, because for whatever reason, I just cannot. I'm stumbling over myself today. But hopefully that is helpful. I've got to catch up on these other streams. Comments. Flimflammery, what kind of setup do you have? I want to start making something, and all I have right now is my computer. Any suggestions? That's all you need, my friend. If you've got a nice setup, I am kind of a technology minimalist, all right? I'd show it to you, but my camera's like bolted down. I have an audio box for my microphone. I have a very tiny, only 25 key keyboard. I have a full-size keyboard next to me. You might be able to see it. But I don't use it as often. I just kind of use my little 25 keys, and I use my mouse. That's literally all it is. You do not need a massive setup, all right? Again, I am a professional. I get paid for this stuff. I don't have a massive setup. Eventually, someday, I might expand, but a lot of... Switch to tempo linear mode. Okay, I don't know what that means. I don't know what I tried clicking. What have you? You don't really need a lot. What's more important is that you just master the skills that you have. I have lots of demonstrations on my YouTube videos and stuff, especially my textbook, how to use the pencil tool to create very realistic performances. So, because again, it comes from the fact that I'm not really a performer. I'm not a very strong piano player. And so the mouse is where I can get the most realistic performance personally. Tamashi, is an augmented 5 to minor 6 something like something important? So Tamashi, so you're asking that, so hopefully Hugglebuns responded. Flimflammery, and I use a notation website to compose. Oh yeah, you're fine then. Yeah, just use your mouse, you're good. You are welcome to explore other options as well. You don't need a super expensive setup. I have a very cheap minimalist setup, and as long as it works for you, I'm happy with my setup. I get work with my setup. You're good. Hugabuns, how long until 1920s big band lo-fi writing style? Funny you should say that. I actually have. I haven't done a lo-fi video, but I've done a live stream for jazz music. Where was it? I did it a little while ago. Maybe I'll edit it. Composer redeems himself by sharing how to fake jazz music. All right. Yes, this is the live stream I did back in June because the previous one I tried and then nothing was working. I came in super confident with my methods because I have done like big band jazz on soundtracks before, but it had been like over a year since I did it. And so this one ends up actually being a really good stream on how to deal with like disappointment and frustration when nothing is working well for you. Yeah, this one right here from June 21st is how you do the big band jazz kind of thing. Because I do default to a kind of a jazzier style of music when I work on stuff. My pleasure. Yeah, right. Hope that it was helpful. Explanation went over my head. All right, so Tamashi, Hugabuns. So augmented 5 to minor 6. That's just a little tool. So I'll explain it now. So augmented 5 to minor 6 says you start with the major chord. All right, so G. Why is this not sounding? Uh-oh. Why is this? Can you guys hear the piano? I cannot. I can hear my metronome. Let's go here. What's going on here? So it shows it's... What is going on here? I can't hear my own piano. All right. I'm going to default to an oldie but a goodie of let's close Cubase down. You guys can see my copy and paste YouTube video description. Let's just reopen it. See if that fixes it. Let's see if this works. All right, so yeah, y'all, we are reaching an hour, so I'm probably going to call it here in a little bit, but put your questions in the comments. I will address them. There we go. That is a very strong reverb. That's because that's not the one that we were using. I have got to... I need to... There we go. I need to actually go in and make sure I plug in my serial numbers for all of my... plugins. All right, so we have a major 5. We have a minor 6. All this means is it's the major 5 chord from your scale. So the 5 chord, so a major scale. The 5th chord in a major scale is going to be major, and the 6th chord in a major scale is going to be minor. All right, so major 5, minor 6. The augmented 5, the little plus, means you take the 5 and you move it up. It has a nice little pull. Let's raise this an octave. Couple. It has a nice little resolve because this chromatic tone resolves by half step. So that's what he's talking about. It's just a cool little device. It's one of the cool little things I did in my chord progression here. But let's see here. Hopefully that helpful. Which is A minor, but this is E augmented. Yes. So, okay, stay just... Oh, welcome. Thanks, Monster. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, augmented 5 can definitely work as a dominant chord. Just thought it was a passing chord. We can't hear the piano. Yep, I've hopefully fixed it now. Flimflammery. Okay, so 23 is giving some advice to Flimflammery. Tamashi says, oh, okay. Flimflammery, 20. Thanks. I'll look into it. Tamashi, I thought I have only 4 note chords as active dominant. So dominant functioning, there are a lot of different ways to think about it, but thinking of a chord as dominant functioning just means it has... I swear. I am getting fed up with technology today. Dominant functioning just means it has a strong pull to resolve, technically. So the terms tonic, subdominant, and dominant in functional harmony come from the Baroque period, where a lot of our musical conventions were initially invented. For example, music notation was finalized, or not finalized, but kind of brought to the modern idea. The idea of using measures and bar lines, the ideas of time signatures, all that kind of stuff was invented in the Baroque period. Functional harmony was invented in the Baroque period. It was a very industrious time for music theory. But the terms tonic, subdominant, and dominant came with a very specific idea. Tonic functioning chords were basically chords that felt like they were at rest, where this chord doesn't really feel like it has a lot of tension, or it doesn't feel like it needs to move anywhere. Whereas dominant functioning chords feel like they need to go somewhere. So like, can't play. Right? So it feels like it has a nice little payoff. And subdominant chords were kind of in the middle. They were considered a period of rest in preparation for tension. Right? So a little music history lesson there. But so dominant functioning chords basically are chords that carry a tremendous amount of tension that wants to resolve. And there are lots of different ways you can do that. The most common is through something called a functional tritone, which is found in dominant functioning chords. So the functional tritone in dominant chords is found between the third and seventh. It's this very dissonant interval that resolves very, very nicely. But it's not the only way you can have that tension. You can introduce that tension, for example, through an augmented fifth instead. There are a lot of different ways this could also resolve. It just has a lot of tension, a lot of pull. It doesn't sound like it should end with this sound, right? Hopefully that helps. I feel like I'm all over the place today. 23, I wanted to end the stream was great. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If it ain't Baroque. Yes, you're right. All right, it's probably classical or something. Wonderful. Looks like I am all caught up. So thank you so very much, my friends, for stopping by the stream. I had a wonderful time. I hope you did as well. Happy Valentine's Day to everybody. All right, I hope you have a wonderful time. Don't forget, channel members, there is a live stream this Wednesday. This is going to be chapter 3 of my textbook. If you'd like to join, you can grab a copy of the textbook on sale from my website. On sale all month long to celebrate these new live streams. You can also become a channel member for just $5 per month and get access to these private lesson live streams where you can kind of get just kind of where you can be part of the community and just kind of get more kind of one-on-one time with me. Also check out my class on emotions and music that popped up today. And yeah, I think that's all of kind of the advertisements and stuff. If you guys have topics, questions, ideas for future live streams, let me know, all right? Send me a message on Instagram, leave a comment on this stream, leave a comment on a different video. The last thing I will say to kind of advertise myself, go check out today's video, all right? Go watch the video, leave a comment, like it, and then click the share button and copy the link. You don't actually have to share anywhere, but those 3 things do tremendous help to help push the video, help push the channel, and help us grow. Remember, celebrations are coming at 30,000. Thank you, everyone, for your support. I'm looking forward to the next stream. All right? Have a good one, everybody. See ya.